The creative process is not the art, it's the engine. It powers the art. Process is a relationship between the creator and their creation. Welcome to What is Creativity? A solo series on the Travel, Create, Repeat podcast where I share different ways of looking at creativity. It's about opening up possibilities, finding inspiration, and connecting to what feels meaningful. I'm Roxanne, and I'm an artist nomad who's been traveling full-time since 2017. As I travel, I make visual art, write, and dance. After many years of creative exploration, I have some insights about how to expand our perception of what creativity can be. I explore ways it can benefit us personally, as well as help to connect with and inspire others. Each episode is a deep dive into a specific way of perceiving creativity. Today, I'm talking about creativity as a process. Creativity is a process, and while ideas are important, process is all about the work. Ideas aren't the work. To quote screenwriter Richard Walter, once you have the idea, all you have left to do is everything. Many people might get the same idea, but when they sit down and do the work, what is created by each individual is vastly different. Creativity is not a prompt. I was recently in Sidmouth, England for a month on a creative retreat. I joined a local writers group that met once a week. Each session we were given writing prompts. Everyone's writing was completely different from the other, even though the prompts were the same. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why you can't copyright an idea, but only the expression of an idea. Process is physical. It is something built in real time. It's a precursor to art, which is the finished product. The process doesn't know what it is yet. It's that lumpy, bumpy first draft, that ugly underpainting. It's that lyric or musical phrase with potential but still missing something. It's that dance move that comes from the ether and suddenly fits or doesn't fit. It's the keystone in the archway. It's the countless chunks of clay thrown on the wheel. It's take after take on a film set. Theater rehearsals. The creative process is riddled with repetition and mistakes. The zone. Within the process is a lovely place called the zone. If you've ever been in it, you know what I'm talking about. The zone is a flow state that happens when you're truly absorbed in something. While in the zone, you can lose track of time, forget to eat, and connect to synchronicity. It can feel almost magical, a runner's high. While in the zone of the creative process, things suddenly feel effortless, easier. Things may seem to magically fall into place. I remember in my studio painting a few times where I was in the zone and I barely looked at my palette. The brush instinctively knew where to go without me looking, and all the colors placed on the canvas were exactly what I wanted. A wonderful experience I'd earned after hundreds of hours of discipline and dedication. That effortless flow state is not an everyday occurrence, but it is something special that can only come through a process. The struggle. Process is not always effortless. It can be hard. Writers describe a point in their process of banging their heads against the wall till they bleed out their words. It can feel like that sometimes. When the process becomes too painful, it's probably time to take a break. Rest, reset, take a nap. These breaks are essential and ultimately restore the magic within. The actor Daniel Day-Lewis takes long breaks from acting. He's a method actor. And a big part of his process is to be fully consumed in his roles, so much so that he loses himself completely and becomes exhausted after the film wrap. Everyone's process is different and personal. Once you find a particular way of working, it can be hard to change, though not impossible. Changing the process is like starting over. Experimentation, new struggles, mistakes. A big part of process is exploring and trying stuff. It takes adaptability, patience, and being with a certain amount of discomfort. And it can also be very fun. Results and rewards. People often focus on the end result, but the process is its own reward. Inside the process, the self-sense is softened, and the work takes priority. But there are other rewards. Those who spend a lot of time in the creative process are rewarded with experience. The more you create, the more skills you develop. From the beginning to the end of a project, you are not the same person. Another thing that changes is your ambition. It grows along with your skills. Once things finally start to feel easier, your ambition can start to want more. You'll want to challenge yourself a bit more with each new project. Your skills have improved, but when you increase the challenge, it still feels hard. You may not even notice how much you've grown creatively because of this. This is a great thing. If you always feel challenged, it means you're growing as a person and as an artist, creative. Mistakes. The creative process comes with mistakes and false starts built in, but sometimes those accidents can become something unexpectedly marvelous. Sometimes mistakes end up becoming the best art. Miles Davis and Herbie Hancock were playing music together. And Herbie Hancock made a very big discordant note during their performance. Without skipping a beat, Miles Davis incorporated Herbie Hancock's mistake into that piece. It became an essential part of the piece of music, and no one noticed. Miles later explained to Herbie that it's not about the note or chord itself, but how you respond to it. One of my favorite visual artists who exemplifies process is Andy Goldsworthy. He makes art out of objects found in nature: stones, clay, leaves, feathers, and anything else in the wild. All his art is process. There is nothing artificial in his work. He puts natural items together in meticulous designs that end up being destroyed by nature most of the time. He creates structures out of leaves and rocks near rivers and streams, and when he's finally finished, nature takes it apart, reclaiming it. Most of his artwork is ephemeral, existing only for the moment. The only evidence is shown in photographs or film footage of his work. One of my favorite documentaries of all time is about him and his work. It's called Rivers and Tides. The creative process is not the art, it's the engine. It powers the art. The process can be many things. It can be challenging. It can be a place of deep learning and growth. It can be effortless. It can lead us to unexpected places. It can be rigid and flexible. Process is a relationship between the creator and their creation. A solo space, an active space, a space in the moment, a place existing for no one but ourselves. Thanks for joining me on the What is Creativity podcast series. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing to my emails on my website, travelcreaterepeat.com. There you can read my travel blog as well as see and purchase in my art shop. You can also subscribe and support me on Patreon at patreon.com/travelcreaterepeat. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, happy creativity. Bye.